Hello, as we continue our Bible study in the Psalms, we're on Psalm 18. Well, this is a much longer psalm than some of the others that we've had, 50 verses of it. And we'll see how we get on today. I might split this one and do it in two sections. We'll just see where we get to. So this psalm is written again by David, and it's a response to the moment when he's been delivered from his enemies and also from the hand of Saul. And this is almost like David's release of emotion, his release of thanksgiving, his release of acknowledgement, and looking at the circumstances. So it is very much a psalm that contains that thanksgiving element, that praise element, and that sense of, God is incredible in the way God answers the prayer. It's also got a bit about David giving some of his reasonings why he thinks his prayer's been answered. So anyway, we'll look at this and just break it down a little bit and pick out some of the things. As always, we're looking for things that we can build into our own lives, add strength to our own lives, add hope to our own lives, and that is our focus in how we're approaching this. David's first line, and I just love the straightforwardness of this. He says, "I love you. I love you, O Lord, my strength." And there's this real outpouring in David's heart, his wholeheartedness towards God, his desire to serve God. It's like in that moment, it's summarized in that one word, "I love you, O Lord, my strength." Now, the first part of this psalm highlights in different ways. I'll read it and then we'll just look a little bit at it. It says, "I love you, O Lord, my strength. The Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer. My God, my rock, in whom I take refuge. My shield and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. I call upon the Lord, who is worthy to be praised, and am saved from my enemies." What an overflow. What a strong, positive declaration in who God is. It appears that he repeats himself a little bit here, but let's have a look at when I was looking at it, I think he's covered every angle about who God is and his strength. And he leaves this sense that even in those darkest moments, he was fully surrounded. So the Lord is my rock. I think that comes up twice. And he says later on, my God, my rock, in whom I take refuge. And the first one is, the Lord's my rock and my fortress. And I was looking at that thinking, initially I thought, it's the rock under his feet. And I thought, no, this feels more like a cave. It feels more like that God is his total hiding place, that he's hidden, he's in a fortress, he's in a place where he's kept safe. That second bit is he's the refuge, and you get the sense that David's saying, in the same way as in the natural, he could have hidden away in a cave. He's saying, the Lord is the one that hides me. The Lord is the one that protects me. The Lord is my fortress. And it's that whole feeling of God is his defender. It's a defensive position, and he does go on and take that more attacking. He says, the Lord is my deliverer. So it's not just a defense, but more than that. And I think that's what David is finding out here, that God is the one that in what looks like the impossible situation has delivered him out of the situation. And he celebrates this, and he's saying, Lord, you're so worthy of being praised. Now, just to bring that to a little bit of application into our own lives, are there situations that at the moment that you need and to know God's deliverance. Elsewhere later on, it talks about, I don't know if I can find it quickly, but in verse 19 it says, he brought me forth also into a broad place. And sometimes the situations that we find ourselves in life are a narrow place. It's a tight place. It's a tight spot. And this sort of prayer is saying, God is the one that can deliver me from the tight spot, the difficult situation, and see me through. And so we've experienced through some of the other Psalms how David has been praying, how he's been responding, even at times his honest despair. And here he's acknowledging and recognizing God is his strength, his rock, his fortress, and God is the one that has delivered him. He's protected him, then delivered him into a wide open space. And I think that's something just to grab in our hearts. God is the one that not just sets us free, but takes us into wide open spaces. So maybe if you're in that sort of place, there's a place to, you're calling on God, but even craft your prayer. Sometimes we fly through our praying, but here is this psalm is a crafted prayer. It's a prayer of love. It's a prayer of recognizing, what God has done. David goes on in verse 4. He sort of expresses a bit more of the breadth of the situation and the difficulty that he faced. He's like, the cords of death encompass me. In other words, David was in a situation, he thought he was going to die. The words of those who are ungodly terrified him. The cords of Sheol, again, that has that feeling of death, surrounded him. The snares of death confronted him. And in that moment, what's he say? In my distress, I called on the Lord and cried to my God for help. He heard my voice out of his temple, and my cry for help before him came to his ears. It's got me just wondering and thinking, really. And again, I pose it as a question just to consider for us when we're in tight spots, when we're in difficult situations, when we feel hemmed in on every side. What's our internal response? I think the natural human response is to fight. That phrase, I'll come out fighting. The natural human response is to try and somehow create space. And it's easy in that moment to lose that sense of living in God's way. Lose our righteousness really in our reaction. And I think there's something here to learn to get hold of, that under pressure, what is our cry? Under pressure and distress, how do we focus? And when we day to day cultivate our life in God, what we're doing is we're developing our core to a place that when we need strength because of what we're facing, because of a difficult situation, stress, what comes out is prayer. What comes out is a cry to God. What comes out is goodness and righteousness and all those things. So I want us to consider that. Maybe you're facing circumstances where you can't work out what you think. And in that moment, draw on the deep foundation that you have in God, and call out on him and know that he's the one that hears the cry of your heart. And sometimes what you'll find in those moments is that the stuff that comes out is not the best of the stuff, and that's just an indicator there's an area that needs healing, needs restoration, needs sorting out. So if if you find the stuff coming out doesn't line up with that, then just take those moments to go, what's the healing spot that I change, unhook from some ungodly belief or something in the past, and set free to do things, if you like, in God's way. Okay, I'm going to stop there. There's loads more of this psalm. We'll pick up another bit next time, but thank you for being with me, and look forward to being with you next time. I'm just finding the little thing to turn the recording off. I found it. Bless you. Have a good day. Bye for now.